Your office is costing you likely $200,000 a year, and it's not on a single spreadsheet. You're tracking every expense, every software subscription, every marketing dollar, but there's a cost bleeding your business that you'll never, ever see on a profit and loss statement. It's the cost of a disconnected office environment. The candidate who walked in for an interview, saw your space, and quietly decided to keep looking. The employee who feels the gap between what you say your culture is and what your space actually communicates. If your office doesn't match your brand, you're losing, and you don't even know how much. In this video, I'm going to show you why your office is either your greatest business asset or your most expensive liability, and how to tell the difference. Here's what most business owners miss. Your website sets expectations. Your space either confirms them or breaks them. And that moment of confirmation or break happens in the first 30 seconds someone walks through your front door. If you've ever wondered why great candidates ghost you after in-person interviews, or why clients seem excited on a Zoom call and then maybe a little hesitant after they've visited you, this is why. The space is telling a story, whether you planned it or not. And if that story doesn't match your brand, it creates hesitation. People won't say it out loud, but they're thinking it. I've spent decades watching companies spend a fortune on their brand. Polished websites, strategic positioning, beautiful pitch decks, and then they walk me into an office that's completely tells a different story. It happens because the office becomes an afterthought. Make sure your brand looks polished online first. The office can wait. Your office isn't decoration, it's a business tool, and it's either helping you win or quietly working against you. Your website sets expectations. Your space either confirms them or breaks them. Let me start with the fundamental mistake that most companies make when they think about their office. Your brand looks perfect online. Then someone walks into the office and the illusion is shattered in 30 seconds. Here's why that's costing you everything. Companies will invest heavily in websites, brand strategy, marketing, all the digital touch points. But when it comes to the physical space, it gets treated differently. Probably because it's a different skill set and thought process. It's not easy, so it basically just gets deprioritized. Here's what actually happens. Your website is a promise. It says, this is who we are. This is what we stand for. This is the experience you're gonna have with us. And then when someone walks into your office and the space doesn't deliver on that promise, you've created doubt, and doubt kills deals. The cost will never show up on any spreadsheet. You won't find it in a profit and loss statement at the end of the year. But I promise you, if you have an outdated or disconnected space that doesn't match your brand, you're losing. You could be losing that next big client, or maybe it's that job candidate that was perfect for the position that you were trying to fill. When the brand doesn't match your space, it creates hesitation. People may not say it out loud, but they're definitely thinking it. So here's the reframe that changes everything. Your office is not decoration, it's a business tool. Stop thinking about your office as a nice to have. It's either helping you win or quietly working against you. Here's how to tell the difference. This can be a tough one sometimes. I don't sell it as design, I sell it as impact, because once you understand your space as a tool, the conversation shifts dramatically from cost to investment. The companies that get this right treat their office like a business tool in 3 specific ways. First, as a sales asset. Clients walk in and immediately feel confidence. They see the brand promise they were sold online confirmed in their actual physical space. This confirmation accelerates trust. Second is using it like a recruiting magnet. People can just feel they want to be part of what you're doing. Space communicates culture, values, and energy before you make your pitch. It pre-sells the candidate on the opportunity that's available. Third is a culture amplifier. Values and company missions, they align your team. The space becomes a daily reminder of what you stand for and how you operate. If your office isn't actively performing these 3 functions, it's basically a liability. Let me give you a thought experiment that shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Imagine a candidate walking into your office for the first time. In 30 seconds, before you say a word, they've already decided if they want the job. Here's what's really happening at that moment. If you asked 100 business owners, small to large, I would bet they would all say the same thing. People are the hardest part of running any business. Finding top talent is a struggle. If you had a chance to increase that percentage of finding that perfect person, what would you be willing to do for that? Now close your eyes. Imagine you were in this situation. In the first 30 seconds of a candidate coming to an interview, before you even said a word, this candidate already felt like they wanted the job, just by the experience they had within the first few minutes of entering your doors. The brand experience was something special, something impactful that you can't ignore. I bet those same business owners would pay whatever it cost, because not getting that perfect hire or landing that big client would cost so much more. Now, the companies that underestimate their office space usually fall into 3 different categories, but they all share the same belief, just for different reasons. And all 3 are bleeding money without even realizing it. First are finance-driven companies led by CFOs who only see spreadsheets. These companies can have a hard time understanding this concept, especially when they're led by a CFO and everything gets measured by the immediate ROI. Show me the return on that wall graphic. It's like you can't do that. Power of branding your environment will never show up on any spreadsheet. But believe me, if you're not doing it, it's costing you plenty. You're going to need to overpay for talent acquisition. That's a guarantee. That's a recruiting expense and will also cost you more for retention. Cost is invisible because it's an opportunity cost. It's the candidate that you didn't get to hire, the client that chose to go with someone else, the employee who quietly disengaged because the environment didn't inspire them. The second are legacy companies, stuck in the "it's always worked this way" mentality. It's easy for a legacy company that's been doing something the same way for decades to not understand how culture shift can provide momentum to a company. The result is the space tells an outdated story. I would bet the employees feel it even if they don't say it. So what they miss is that the world has changed. The expectation of employees changed. The competitive landscape changed, but the office didn't. And that gap's costing top talent. The third are remote-first companies, treating the office like it's a checkbox. Fully remote-first companies with occasional office use fall into this belief that the office is just checking a box. They might say, "No one's even here that much anyway." What's actually happening is you're missing the opportunity to make your office a destination. The office provides a strong foundation for your team to communicate, collaborate, connect. If it's just a box check, people won't want to come in, and you lose the culture building power with in-person work. What they miss, the office isn't about square footage, it's about experience. If the experience is forgettable, people won't show up, even when they could. All 3 categories treat the office as decoration instead of a business tool, and that's the belief that's costing them. Let me tell you one of the best before and after stories I know. It just happens to be our own. We never had a documented set of core values until 3 years ago. We had culture for sure, but it wasn't defined, it wasn't written down, and it definitely wasn't visible in our space. The process of developing what would be our core values was such an enlightening experience. I brought the whole team together. We told them about the process we were going to go through. Each person was able to share what core values they responded to. We made a long list. It was refreshing to actually see how many of our team members all kind of aligned and wanted the same thing. That was fun. We pared down the list over the course of the next few months, and ultimately we landed on our 6 core values. This would be our new compass for the company. It would make decisions on how we hire people. It would also determine who we part ways with. This was an all-in decision about how we operate as a company and work with one another. Everyone knew these values because we dedicated a wall in the office to share them proudly, in order to make sure that our values didn't just live as signs on the wall and get stale. We initiated something called the Catch the Good concept. This is an opportunity for our team to recognize our values with each other. It's a simple idea to execute that works great for team building. Every month, we celebrate these recognitions at a core values monthly lunch that we host in our office. It's a great time. Everybody loves it. We even took it a step further. If you get recognized for all 6 of our core values, which is not easy to do, by the way, you get to join our Hall of Fame wall. So you get a pair of sneakers. We write your name on it, the year you started. You get to throw it over an airline cable that we have in the shop, and everybody gets to cheer for your new accomplishments. A little throwback to the 70s telephone wire idea. But yeah, these are the things that we do to continue our core values journey. The culture has a huge transformation, and that change is never going to show on a spreadsheet. But the benefit of doing this is limitless. When you do things like this, you're going to start to see things like retention improvement. And hiring is going to become easier because candidates can see what we stand for, and it's explained. Team alignment gets stronger because the values weren't abstract. They're physical, visible things that we all celebrate. This is what happens when you stop treating your office as decoration and start treating it as a culture amplifier. The space becomes part of the operating system of the company. So the question becomes, when should you actually think about your office in the branding process? The short answer is earlier than you're comfortable with. It should be in the conversation when you're walking through new brand strategy. Once brand position is clear, the values are clearly defined, the target customer or employee experience is understood, the last question should be asked, how does this show up in the real world? How will this actually live on our walls? Ideally, our best projects run in parallel with architects and interior designers. This is where magic can really happen. The space gets designed for strategic messaging opportunities. That means there's lighting in place to support the signage. The material and brand feel cohesive instead of layered. It's also important to set aside a budget for this. This way you're not competing for scraps and everything needs to get watered down. When you plan for it early, you protect the integrity of the vision. If you're going through a rebrand or a growth phase or a new office build out, bring the environmental branding conversation in early. Don't wait. Don't wait until the space is designed and the budget's already spent. Because at that point, you're trying to retrofit a vision instead of building it from the start. So here's what we covered. Your office is not decoration. It's a business tool. And it's either a sales asset, a recruiting magnet, or a culture amplifier. Or it's quietly working against you. Your website sets expectations. Your space confirms them or breaks them. And that happens in the first 30 seconds. If you're losing candidates after interviews, if clients seem hesitant after visiting, if your space doesn't support how your team actually works, it's costing you money, whether you're tracking it or not. The companies that get this right bring the office into the brand strategy early. They treat it like it's part of the plan, not an afterthought. And the transformation in hiring, retention, and culture, and client confidence, it's undeniable. Now that you understand why your office is either your greatest asset or your most expensive liability, the question is, what are you going to do about it? If you want to talk through what's possible for your space, reach out. We'll walk your office, we'll show you what we're seeing, give you an honest picture of where the gaps are and how we can close them. And if this video helped you see things differently, please subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from.